Well, hello, and welcome back. So we are doing part 9 now of the Node.js Auth project, and what we're up to is we're going to do some email stuff. So I've got the comments open here on Twitch, and let me just double check that they're up here on YouTube. Looks like a solid maybe. Where did it go? Oh, something's playing audio that shouldn't be. That's okay. Okay. All right. Got those up. So, by the way, I am AJ O'Neill, and I'm going to be your Beyond Code Liver for the evening. And let me give you a little bit of a recap here. So we got this project going on. And actually, let's just list, that's more than I wanted. So I have here, I want you to know that I have here a .env and a .env secret. So basically what's going on is there's some stuff that I'm not going to be showing you on camera. That's my actual Twilio keys and Mailgun keys and some stuff like that. And then there is the stuff that's just for the purposes of the demo that's safe for me to show. But I'll go into the example here. And I'll start with the configuration. We'll walk through Mailgun maybe a little bit. And I'm just going to send an email with Mailgun. And we're going to talk about, there's an alternative to EJS, because EJS is, well, pardon my French, tarded. It's called ETA, and it's almost the exact same thing, but it fixes some stupid bugs that, or no, I don't know. Yeah, it's a bug. If you don't have layouts in a templating engine, that is a bug. That's not even lack of a feature. You can't call it a templating engine if it doesn't have layouts. Anyway, so ETA has those, which we'll see why that's important with email in a minute. Anyway, I want to go down here and see. Oh, my example.env is not updated yet, apparently. Oops. Okay. Let me. Anyway, I'm gonna have to open this up on the other screen here and take a look at what we've got in the secrets. Okay, so let me open this up. Gosh. Actually, I'm gonna search over here just in case anything comes up that shouldn't. Nope, it's not coming up. All right, so in this example.env, some of the things we should have here are Mailgun, private key. I don't think we actually use the public key at all, but this is just something like that. We've got Mailgun, public key, and I'm not going to log into Mailgun to show this because I'm not going to. Well, maybe I've got a demo account that I can show off. Mailgun domain. In this case, we are gonna. Well, this is it'd be like they recommend something like mailer.example.com. Well, obviously your own domain there, but put like a mailer prefix in there. But not using the actual top level domain is what they recommend. And there's some technical reasons for that I won't go into in this episode here. But so this is defined in the env file that I'm not showing you. I just wanted you to see what it looks like. That's kind of what it looks like. And then I'm just going to take this example that we have here, and I'm going to work from this. So let me just do Mailgun or send.js is what we'll call this. And I will put this in the description. I'm just going to put it in the chat right now. This is something I came up with earlier, and I'm actually going to test. I'm going to test these to make sure that they're all right. But we're going to have API key equals process.env.mailgun private key, I think is what it was called. And then we're going to do the same thing with domain, except domain is going to be domain. I got something buzzing in my pocket here. Let me make sure that's not important. Usually it's not. Okay. I'll get to that later. And I gotta set my timer here because I only have limited time. So we're definitely gonna get to sending an email unless something goes catastrophically wrong, because we're pretty much almost there. So you can use SMTP to send email in the modern age. I don't recommend it. Whether you're using Mailgun or SendGrid or one of the other dozen mail platforms, usually it looks something like this. And I don't recommend using their libraries. I don't think there's any need. I mean, this is me personally. You're not going to find too many people that believe this, but I don't believe in all the bloat. I think if this is all you need, and by the way, you've probably heard of requests. I know a lot of people are using Axios now. This module is something like 500 lines of code. So I like to keep things thin and tiny and easy to inspect and test most of the time. I make lots of screw ups, but that's my goal here. So we've got the URL. This comes straight from their documentation. It's using basic auth. So that's base64 encoded username : password. And then it actually does use a URL encoded form, not JSON, for Mailgun. So there's the from, the to, the subject, and then the HTML and the text. And the difference between the two is that they should be kind of congruent. The text is just the best textual representation without HTML, and the HTML can have other stuff, like, for example, the pre-header, which we'll talk about in a second. I need to go ahead and make that. I'm just going to make it empty for now, but we'll go over that in just a second. And then I need, really this would be a function, say send, for example, and then we'd want to fill this out. But I'm going to leave this as is, and we're going to say, I'm going to double check here. Root projects, yeah. So we're going to say mailer. Actually, I like Rob the robot. That's what I go with, or sometimes I go with Rob. Doesn't really matter what from name you use. I wouldn't use no reply. And usually, I don't remember how this is supposed to go. I'm going to look this up real quick because this should be in that example too. Mailgun, URL encoded, reply to. So for some reason, most of the things look normal. Meaning they're, from is just from. It's not H : capital F from, but for some reason, some of this other stuff is, you have to prefix it with headers, with H for header. Let me go ahead and see H : what do they have to say here? No, that's not what I want. All right, reply to recipient var. Yeah, you pretty much always want to set reply to, because the from might be something like, for example, rob@mailer.rootprojects.com or, XYZ123. Please don't do that. But there's, have the decency at least to put something like, subscriptions plus XYZ123 if you got to do some sort of identifier in the email. Don't make it so that a reasonable filter program can sort it if it needs to. And I try to put that kind of information in the body of the mail or some other header. There's a message thread header or something I think you can use. I don't remember off the top of my head. But anyway, we got reply to. That should be the human that you can actually get to. And then who's this going to go to? Let's have it go to my email there. Subject is hello, what's up, yada, yada, yada. Okay, cool. So if nothing else, I don't think we need anything else. I think this will go, oh wait, we do need to require .env. And we do need to configure it, and we need to make sure that we give it the path that actually needs multiples. So we need .env and .env.secret. So with that, all the environment variables should get read in appropriately. And let me see. Let me check my calendar real quick. I may have gotten the time on something off because I'm thinking we're not doing that for another Yeah, I don't think we're doing that for another 20 minutes. Okay, sorry. Anyway, we're going to go here. I should just be able to run this now. That's it. That's all you need to be able to send email with Mailgun. Once you've gone in and you've signed up, you do have to do some validation stuff. I'll do another video at some point. Leave a comment if I don't have something in the link in the description. I'll do another video just kind of doing a walkthrough of that. It's pretty simple. But we're going to run send here. Oh, okay. Let me do a save dev. This probably wouldn't need to be there generally. I like to keep my save dev clean. I don't like dependencies, in case you haven't noticed. I like just to keep things as light as I can, so I'll go back and I'll remove that later. Okay, I should have done something like, well, I can't await that because it's not in a, I'm still in node 14. I don't have top level awaits yet. Anyway, I should have done something like this. .then function, and the response is just HTTP response, so it's going to have headers and stuff. And then something like if response or status is greater than or equal to 300, then just throw, let's see, var error equals new error. Failed to send message. I should have done this before. Error.response equals resp. That's how I like to do it. Throw the error, otherwise console.info. Success. And then we could do a catch here. And then console.error. Error. And then actually spit out the error. And then particularly if we had error.response, we might want to look at a couple of things in particular, like response.body, which when the error gets stringified, it usually spits out the stack trace, so something like this would not be visible there. And then we might want status code. But here's the thing. Oh, just status. We'll find out if I got the email. And I had a demo email account that I'd log into Gmail with so you could see the emails, but I'm not doing that right now. I forgot what the login for that is. I need to add that back to my password manager and get that back going. But anyway, here we go. So we've got what's up. And if we look at this email, so just to show you something here, if you go down to show original, then you can see there's more signatures, and the authentication of email is garbage. I've accidentally, when testing something, was able to spoof a signed email message basically by just getting one email system to forward it to another email system. That email system signed the forwarded message, and then because it was the same domain, it ended up counting, which is insane, but got through spam filters and stuff, even though it was sent from a testing, a kind of a hacking testing tool. Anyway, but we have here, there's the text version of the email, and then here is the HTML version of the email, and then Mailgun, most of these mail services, they insert some sort of tracking pixel or something or other, and so you can see that they've got that right there. And then email.rootprojects.org is set up as a CNAME through Mailgun. There's some DNS stuff you got to do to get this set up. Anyway, so we sent the message. That's great. I'm gonna try this a little bit differently. So I'm gonna make a note that I am going to go update that blog article. So let me just get root projects. I'm just going to have that open up to remind myself directly to that article. Put it right next to it. Send email with Mailgun. Okay. And all right, from there, I'm also going to test out, we know that curl is going to work. Oh, preview text. Preview text. I want to talk just a second about preview text. I want to make sure this preview text works out. So preview text and the pre-header, we go ahead and paste that in now. It's basically a little bit of text that doesn't display. So it's set with styling to not display, and the class name doesn't matter. That's not actually used for anything. That's just part of the example. Is a nice identifier. Maybe some mail servers recognize it. I didn't read specifically why they put that there, because it seems like you could just not have that there and you'd be fine. Or maybe they also did some overt how to make something not display in the style tag for, because email is not like regular HTML. Like it's 1990s or mid 90s, late 90s style HTML. Maybe early 2000s on a good day. I don't know. Anyway, so we've got this stuff here to make sure that it doesn't display. It's display none. It's opacity 0. So on and so on. And then you just put the text there, and then the text is going to show up as the preview in the email. So let's send this again, but I'm going to do something slightly differently. Rather than using the first example, I'm going to go and use Axios. So let me see about using Axios here. So I'm just going to comment this out. Well, yeah, I'll just as well. So comment that out. I'm going to try with Axios, and I'm going to install Axios, and we're going to do Axios. And this is really just for me to say, yeah, you can do it with Axios too. It doesn't matter which library you use. You can even do it with just the bare Node one. It's just that one's a little tedious, I'll admit. Just trying to do it with bare Node, because there's a bit of ceremony that you got to put around this thing and wrap it in a promise and all that, because it was built early on, and it's just not. It's good for some things, but it's a little bit dated. Okay. So domain, I probably need to change like the from and the to, and all of these things are going to be the same once we find out where they go. So let me just copy that out. No. I want to copy this out. There we go. Oh, and this was implied, but I didn't explicitly say it, so I'll say it. I think, or maybe I did. So from is what shows up in the email, but when you hit reply, the reply to is where the email will go back to. To is obviously where it goes. All right, so this looks good. Really? Is Axios that dense? Like it doesn't have like a default? I wonder if that might be there just to be explicit. I don't remember. I'd have to test it with and without. I would not use Mailgun.js. That's just ridiculous to me. You pull in a whole library that has all this helper function stuff, and it's all the same thing. You would eliminate 2 lines of code, like a method and a URL. Come on. If you're going to use it for all of its templating functions, and you're really going to, get into everything that Mailgun could possibly do, then sure, include the library, but otherwise, no. And then there's the, I do want to test this one out too, the HTTP. Okay, anyway, so we're going to send the email again. And I think actually I'll do this. There we go. So I think Axios is probably pretty similar in the way that the response works. I don't know exactly. But let's go ahead and console.log resp.body, and just to see what happens. All right, we're going to run this again. Okay, let me go back up to the top. So what we did was we swapped out request for Axios, and we put in this pre-header. The pre-header is going to go into the HTML. It's going to make it so that and maybe I can show this. Oh, I need to npm install save dev Axios, and then I'm going to have to go right after this. We might be able to do one more, and then I'm going to have to go. But let's see if I can show. All right, I'm going to try to show this. Did it send? Did we get success or did we get failure? Oh, I didn't actually do it. Okay, let's run send. Okay, interesting. Data forbidden. Unauthorized. Okay, so something went wrong there, obviously. Let's go ahead and check that out. Oh, it's missing the auth. Let's just throw that in there. Okay, I'll go ahead and remember to update that as well. Okay, maybe Axios does this in a different way. Maybe it's auth user, some of them. There's no new thing under the sun, but there's a million ways to do it. You know? Let's try like this. I'm just going to look it up real quick. Axios basic auth. And I do need to go. Basic auth using Axios. Auth. Username, password. Got it. Okay. Fair enough. Cool beans, cool beans. I'll make sure that I update that blog there. All right, cool. It looks like but it did not have a body to it. How strange. I wonder what the response object actually looks like. All right. Anyway, so I am going to bring in my email. All right, so here, this is how you do that thing. So see your special greeting inside. What's up? So it shows the pretext ahead of anything else. So we put that in there first. We make it not display. When I click on it, you don't see any, see your special message inside. That's not actually in the email. Let me go back to show original here. Where's show original? There it is. Okay, if we look at the HTML version, there's our pre-header. Just all that garbage. And it has our, oh wow, that's an interesting encoding. I haven't noticed that before. See your special greeting inside. All right, there we are. So last one, going to do this real quick. And then in the next bit, we'll move on to, okay, so we need to put some stuff in the email, and then we need to have a nice template that looks decent. And I'm going to go over how to do the decent looking template. I'm not going to know if I actually come up with a decent looking template, but let's go ahead and do this real quick. And then I got to head out. So we are going to comment out all of this, and then heaven help us. Let me go ahead and copy all of that again. Okay, and I don't actually want to do the whole promise thing here. Okay, what's messed up? 43. Where are you at? Oh, right. That makes sense. 98. What's at 98? I probably have, yeah, there's my problem. So I wrap the thing in a promise, and then I call .then. Okay, so a couple of things here. We have our form. We're going to query stringify it using query string, and we're going to turn that into a buffer, because if you have UTF-8 characters in JSON, then you're not going to get the correct buffer length. So you need to convert that into a buffer. And I'm not sure with query string.stringify, it probably already does some escaping on the UTF-8, but to be safe, we'll put it in a buffer because we want to be able to get form.byte length so that we can set content length. Otherwise, it's going to do chunked encoding, which is not supported for uploads typically, meaning when you do a post, typically chunk is not support. Is it that? Chunked is supported for downloads, but not for uploads. I think that's how it works. So if you download a file, you can expect every client is going to be able to support chunked encoding if the thing doing the get supports it, but the thing receiving the post doesn't necessarily support it. So that's a little gotcha. You break out host name and port. You have to use the HTTPS module rather than using HTTP because there's two. There's HTTP and HTTPS, and you have to choose the right one based on what you're using. you have to have an event listener for the data and the end event, and then you kind of got to stringify and put it all together yourself, and then at the end we should see that it still works just the same. So I'm going to do this one more time. I'm going to change one thing about it up here at the top. I'm just going to put hello again. What's up now? And let's run it, and then I got to go. Oh, invalid undefined header on content length. So byte length. Is it byte size? Form buff. Buff. There we go. Buff. Okay, good thing I tried this all, so now I can go update it. Forbidden. Okay, again, I forgot the whole password thing, but I think we do the same thing here. I think we do it like this. Let's go ahead and give it a try. And now the first array like object. Where? The first argument must be of type. Where's this at? 43. Okay. Let's look. HTTPS request. Okay, URL. Okay, it's supposed to be URL and options. Okay, no, that's right. So it's options. That's good. That's all good. So what is it complaining about? Send 19. Where's this coming from? New promise. That doesn't matter. All right, I'm not quite sure what it's complaining about. First argument must be of type string or an instance of buffer, or array like object, receive instance of object. Okay, let's take a look at this again. HTTPS.request. Options. Object. I don't know where that's coming from. I think maybe. So here. Okay, let's see where auth is here. Auth. Do we have auth? Do we have basic? No. Do we have username? No. All right. Node.js HTTP basic auth. I hope that you don't actually have to do the base 64 yourself. Not that it's that bad, but usually there's some sort of helper, but maybe there isn't. I'm not seeing what I'm looking for here. Okay, so I might. This is got. Anyway, we can do this authorization. Okay, and then we can do basic and then plus, and that would be buffer.from API. I guess we can put this in the backticks. Yeah. API key dot toString base 64. And I don't actually remember if that is technically URL safe base 64 or not. I'm going to try it without and see what happens. Let's try this. Okay, cool. Success. Got it. So I guess HTTP basic auth RFC. Basic authentication scheme. I just want to know what version of base 64 is it using. Is it URL safe base 64? Base 64 encoded HTTP schemes are occupied. Okay, let's go over here. Let's see what it says about base 64. Token 68. What? base64 URL. Oh, okay. Oh, I see. So basically it's saying token 68 is a superset that encompasses base64 URL, base64, base32, base16, excluding white space. Got it. Okay, so it looks like that should be fine. I just want to find real quick, if we can, what does it say about options? Let's go to options, HTTP request options agent auth string. Ah, of course, of course. Okay, so we could do it this way, or we could do it the way that I had it originally, and this should also work. So let's do it like this. Yeah. And then let's change this from hello again to hello again again. Send it. Boom, message queued. Got it. All right, with that, now let's go back to my emails here. And we should see we've got hello again that we had just sent. And then I would imagine any moment we will get the hello again again. Or maybe it went to the wrong. Let's see if I just hit refresh here. Oh, hello again again. All right. So there it is. We tried it in a couple different ways, and I will go update that blog article. I know this was like super fast and all that because now I'm late, but if this helps you at all, go ahead and hit thumbs up. I'll be back in about an hour and a half or so, I think, and we're going to do the actual templating now that we've confirmed that the email sends, and I've got it so we can swap out whichever way we want to do it. Yeah, so hit like if it helped. Check down the doobly-doo for links to the gear, live channel, Shower Thoughts channel, Beyond Code channel, all the channels, and leave me comments with questions and whatever, and I'll catch ya if you want to be around for the next bit in about an hour and a half. All right, adios.